Hello guys, this is Doronsmovies, and today I will be bringing you 10 World of Warcraft lore facts part 2. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The Mogu were titanic creations affected by the curse of flesh, just like many others. Terrified by this new body, the troubles soon began. One among them, called Lei Shen, lusting for conquest, defeated Raden in combat, a titanic watcher responsible for the land of Pandaria. Wishing to take the future of the continent into his own hands, he brutally ripped the heart from his chest and thus gained power over wind and storm. His followers fell to their knees and named him the Lightning King. However, he was not satisfied with the name, as lightning was something fast and over in a flash. But thunder echoes throughout the entire land, it quakes the skies and fills the hearts of people with fear. So with everything set, Lei Shen became known as the Thunder King, creating an empire that would rule Pandaria with an iron fist for many years to come. The Emerald Dream is a copy of the material plane of Azeroth, untouched by intelligent beings. Unbeknownst to many people, the dream also has multiple layers, each presenting a test version of Azeroth. The reason for this is because the Titans wanted to perfect the design, and many mistakes or test versions were made that were scrapped and later stored in a different layer. These old layers are hidden and uninhabited, but they can be accessed by certain experienced druids that have this knowledge. Zeter is a keeper of the Grove and the eldest son of Cenorius. At one point he fell in love with Princess Teradres, the daughter of the elemental Lord Terrazane. This out of the ordinary relationship gave birth to the barbaric Centaur race. Their appearance vaguely resembled their father, but the Centaur were something completely different. They were ruthless and angry and cared very little for nature and the world around them. Not long after their creation, they murdered Zeter and spread across Kalimdor. Ever since then, they have been battling other native races and scourging the land around them. During the Northern campaign, the Forsaken were in charge of taking over Howling Fjord. At the time, most of their fleet was composed of ships that once belonged to Lordaeron that they have raised from the bottom of the sea. The Forsaken also never had a proper port in the northern Lordaeron. Because of this, the main goal of the Gilneas invasion was to get a hold of a zone that would be used for the navy. On top of that, it would also give more land to the Forsaken and get rid of any possible threats. Razorfen is the ancestral home of the Quillbore. It is most notable for the thorn-ridden vines covering the entire zone, almost blocking out the sun. Legend says that these vines sprouted from earth when the mighty demigod Ancient called Agamagan fell in battle against the Burning Legion. His blood spilled all over the place, and each time a drop hit the ground, a thorn vine was created. The Quillbore, believed to be his mortal offspring, soon came to occupy this region and hold it sacred. Liches are undead sorcerers who possess immense magical power. Every Lich has an object known as a phylactery. What they do is they bind their soul to a phylactery and then use it to generate their physical form. This is the reason why Lich's body looks nothing like his once mortal body. This process also makes them in a sense immortal, as the only way to kill a Lich is to destroy his phylactery. Kel'Thuzad is a perfect example of this, as he was killed many times, but his phylactery remained intact, meaning that he is still alive out there somewhere. Gorshalash, also known as the Dark Render, is the most powerful weapon in the universe. It was once wielded by Sargeras while he was a member of the Titan Pantheon. When he fell to his madness, the weapon shattered itself into 2 pieces in order to prevent the Titan from using it for his dark agenda. However, Sargeras was able to get a hold of one of the fragments and has reforged it into Goribal, a weapon he uses to this day. The other fragment was claimed by a titan called Agramar, a former lieutenant of Sargeras, and he forged it into a weapon called Teshelash. Agramar greatly desires to unite the weapon, as he knows that if he can get a hold of Goribal, he can reforge the once mighty Gorshelash, but he still hasn't had the courage to confront Sargeras. The humans and the dwarves have been allies for a long time, however many people think that they have only met recently. In reality, the humans first encountered the dwarves around 1800 years before the First War. Gilneas and Alterac had strong armies who explored southern lands of Khazmodan. During their trip, they met the ancient dwarven race. This was very beneficial for both sides, as the dwarves shared many metal smithing and engineering secrets, while the humans taught them how to write in common and introduced them to the Holy Light. Ever since then, they have been great allies, and recently they even joined the Alliance as we know it today. The Ettin are a mysterious beast-like race found throughout the Eastern Kingdoms. According to Bran Bronzebeard, they originate from the world of Draenor and are related to the ogres. This means that allegedly they came to Azeroth during the Orc invasion and were most likely enslaved by the Horde. However, in Worlds of Draenor there is no sign of the Ettins, but there is a connection between the ogres and the Graan and all the related races. This means that either the Ettin were scrapped as a race, or they have just gone extinct. Even though the main reason the Worgen became druids was the influence of the Night Elves, that was not the first time they had ever seen druids. In reality, Gilnean society had a version of their own known as the Harvest Witches. The Harvest Witches practiced basic druidism and had powers to accelerate crops and help the Gilnean agriculture. This was extremely useful at the time as they were isolated from the entire world. The source of this not so widespread class goes back all the way to the early days of humanity. Ages ago, many human tribes had interests in nature and nature magic, but all of that was quickly forgotten as they turned to the Holy Light and the arcane magics. Due to the isolation of Gilneas, they retained a certain degree of this ancient culture, and thus Gilneans had their own version of druids. Alright, it is all here for this video. Now, do leave your suggestions for future videos you'd like to see on the channel, and also don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, as it really helps out and keeps all the videos going. And thanks a lot for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and see you next time.